So, I hear that the best time to plant a fruit tree is 5 years ago, but what's the second best time?
Second best time is today. It's gonna be yesterday by the time this comes out. But yes, getting a fruit tree in the ground right now is gonna be so beneficial in the next, 3 to 5 years. You are gonna be so happy at the choices you made today to plant that tree.
Exactly. So, guys, I'm at Enchanted Forest today. We're going to be talking about the best fruit that you can grow in Texas. So, let's garden on.
Let's go.
All right, guys, so we're in their apple section right now. So apples are some of my favorite fruit to grow in my garden. So one of the most important things to consider when growing apples are chill hours, right?
Yeah, chill hours make a big difference in what you're gonna get in terms of flowering and production. The whole reason you plant the tree. So some of our favorite low chill apples, really the top three for this area are going to be the Anna, Golden Dorset, and Einsheimer. We do carry some varieties like Fuji and Gala you may be more familiar with. You see them at the store. But the Anna, Golden Dorset, and Einsheimer are going to be your yes, they're producing every year, pretty consistently for whatever kind of winter we have. Whether it's very cold or a warmer winter, they need very few chill hours to set the fruit.
So Clay, for some of the beginners out there, what exactly is a chill hour?
Chill hours is time spent like below 45 degrees. And so as we've been having these cold winters, we do experience some fluctuation in our average chill hours, but it also takes into account like all the warm days we had, right? So like this year was very nice until we had those deep freezes. So, our chill hours really didn't change all that much because of how mild our winter was.
And here in Houston, we have an average of around 450. So we want to look for trees that are going to have less than 450. In other words, you don't want to go buy a Honeycrisp because those need around 1200 hours, right?
Oh yeah, I had a customer in the other day tell me they got a Honeycrisp at one of the box stores, and I told them the bad news. It's like 1200 chill hours. You're better off pulling that out and putting in Anna and having your pollinator as well. So Anna or a Gold Dorset or both of those, or a combo apple with multi grafts on there, so you get that pollination.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell somebody, sorry, but they'll probably never get fruit with an apple tree like
Yeah,
that.
bearer of bad news for sure on some of these things.
Exactly. So you want to go for either the Annas or the Fuji. It's kind of like a borderline, but like my Anna and the Dorset produce fruit, but also a sundowner is good too, 2 to 300 hours, and a Granny Smith. So the next fruit that you can grow in a Texas garden will be some peaches. So I have a bonfire peach, which is really good for patio and containers. But what other types of peach trees do you recommend, Clay?
So a lot of the peaches we carry are going to be in the Pride series. I'm particularly fond of the Mid Pride. Maybe a little personal bias, but I planted a Mid Pride whenever my wife and I found out we were expecting. I planted a fruit tree for my son, and it was a Mid Pride. That tree is now 3 years old and is about this big around and has about 40 or 50 peaches on it currently now.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Really, really great. Only needs about 200 or 300 chill hours. I think it's 250. And has been producing flowering these last 3 years with all of our freezes and everything. Really great mid-season producer. And then this is a kind of one of those trees we call a front yard fruit tree. This is a beautiful red barren peach tree. It comes in with double scarlet flowers, so it's super, super pretty. A lot of people want those, flowering cherries or the peaches that are, peppermint peach or something that's like not producing but still really pretty flower. And the red barren or red bud, right? Yeah, like a red bud, right? But this is like a red bud, but it gives you fruit. So like, double winner, right? Beautiful tree and delicious fruit. Great for this area. Peaches are still the #1 exported fruit out of Texas.
And I guarantee you that everybody's going to be asking you in your neighborhood what kind of tree that is when they see all the flowers.
Oh,
right?
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and just like with apples, you want to always know your varieties with peaches, because you don't want to grow something, say like in Houston, that needs 1,000, 1,200 hours of chill hours. So again, if you see a variety that you think you want, just do your research and look up the chill hours.
Yeah, and a lot of the time we do the research for people.
Yeah.
I order the fruit trees, and I make sure our chill hours are good for this area. There's a couple things that get a little high, but nothing over 500 for us.
And that's why you want to shop local at your local nurseries, because all the big box stores, they might have varieties that might not do well in your area. So it's always best to shop local at a local business than one of those big boxes.
Like Enchanted Forest.
Yeah. All right, guys, so we're in their fig section now. So figs are some of the most productive fruit trees that you can grow in Texas, right?
Oh yeah, great and cold tolerant, and you know, as we found out in 2016, 2017, they're pretty flood tolerant too. I still have a LSU purple that I planted with my grandpa when I was 12.
Nice.
And it's like loaded up. Last year we had hundreds of figs on it. It's actually like, you could see it from here, and when it's loaded up with figs, it's like, oh yep, they're ready. They're all purple now. I can see it. It looks like a little Christmas lights almost on that tree. We also had a Celeste fig. And Celeste figs are, you know, a little more yellow, large tree, right? They can get pretty big, but very, very tasty. You know, another one that we like here is the Violette de Bordeaux. I probably ruined that French pronunciation, but
This one right here.
yes, it is. But very figgy flavor, really, really dark flesh.
So one of the fig trees I have in my yard is, I'm pretty sure it's a Celeste, and that thing just took off. Like, it planted about 3 or 4 seasons ago, and every year it produces a ton of figs. So I planted it in a whiskey barrel.
Oh yeah,
but it just broke right through that whiskey barrel, so now it's in the ground.
yeah, there you go. Even better, it almost like planted itself for you.
Yeah, exactly. So fig trees are super productive here in Texas. But another thing too, like during the freeze, all I did was put some mulch over the base of the plant. I didn't even cover it, and the tree did fine. And we had a couple days of snow, but yeah, it survived. So fig trees are very productive here, and if you want to grow, I think, any kind of fruit tree, I would pick a fig tree first, because they're going to be most likely to survive our winter, our heat, the floods, all the rain, and it produces a lot of fruit pretty early too.
Yeah, with our poor drainage in Houston, it's a pretty good choice for figs for sure.
Yeah.
And they're tons of fun to propagate too. Like, they are so easy to propagate. This is one of the first things I ever propagated, and yeah, so many segmented areas on that plant that's just ready for ready nodes that are ready to be, you know, put breeding hormone potted up.
Pretty much all you have to do is put a little of that hormone on it and then stick it in some soil, and then it's going to root.
Yeah, so easy. You know, I find with my like LSU purple, you know, as opposed to Celeste, which was like, it was flavorful, but it's kind of more of like on the yellow side.
Yeah.
And it was tasty and sweet, and like we made tarts with it, and you know, we could totally eat them off the tree. But the LSU purple, to me, it's like almost like it has like little sugar crystals in it. Like, it is like sweet and flavorful, but it's not like overpowering. The Celeste, I believe, may have like a little bit, you know, different and or better flavor, but LSU purple, I just love it because it is such a stark contrast. Like, the figs are so purple. Like, I have one planted behind this property, and you can see it when you're looking in the fruit trees. When it's got figs on it, you can see it from here. You're like, dang, all my figs are ready. Okay, great, I'm gonna go get some.
Grow some figs if you want to grow an easy fruit tree here in Texas. So another fruit that you can grow here in Texas that's super easy to grow are blackberries. So a lot of these blackberry varieties, they come out of the University of Arkansas, right?
Yeah, University of Arkansas has a great program up there, and many of the blackberries we carry here are from the University of Arkansas.
Like the Primark Freedom, those berries can get 2 to 3 inches long, and plus some of these blackberries, including the Primark Freedom, are really heat tolerant. The University of Arkansas, they've been developing fruit, especially blackberries, since the 1960s, right?
Not that I was around in the 1960s, but I've been here for, you know, 25 years now. So that was one of the first blackberries, actually one of the first like fruit things that I remember my grandpa telling me about when I was maybe 7 or 8. And you know, the Primark Freedom, Bubba, that's a good one. You gotta tell the folks to get the thornless Primark Freedom. So
also the Washita is another University of Arkansas. It's another thornless, another heat tolerant, and the Natchez too. So if you notice, a lot of these blackberry names are named after Native American tribes too. So blackberries are typically better to grow than blueberries where we are, because of the acidic levels that blueberries need for for the soil. Where blackberries, you can just put them in our ground and they'll take off and they'll spread like, pretty much a wildfire.
Yeah, 8 to 10 foot canes.
They'll go everywhere.
Yeah.
You could still grow blueberries, right? You can just grow them in containers.
Oh yeah. We sell a lot of blueberries, southern high bush, and rabbit eyes, and some hybrids. But yeah, blueberries are fun to do here. You got to have them in acidic soil. One of the things that we had the most success for growing blueberries here was doing them in whiskey barrels. Mm-hmm. Tons of drainage. We sell the blueberry mix from Nature's Way, and it actually has a fungus in there that is, it's one of the few fungi that blueberries have this relationship with, and actually lets them really excel.
So like a symbiotic relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you don't have acidic soil, you really have to grow them in containers. Like, when I first started gardening, I tried to grow some blueberries in the ground, and as you could probably expect, they died. But the blackberries, super easy. So if you're a beginner and you had to choose between a blackberry or a blueberry, it'd probably be easier to go with blackberries, right?
Oh yeah, if you're looking for like gratification and keeping your plants alive and like not having to do a whole lot of work, blackberries are a great idea.
Exactly.
If you've got little ones running around and you want to do something fun in a container and kind of keep it just a little pet project, blueberries are really hard to beat in that sense. My son eats mountains of blueberries. So that's going to be on our list this year for planting a couple of those in there.
That's great. So Enchanted Forest, they have some mulberry trees over here, right? And some of the mulberry trees are native to Texas, but you guys don't have any right now, right?
No, we have these that are labeled as native mulberry, but these are, the botanical is Morus nigra, and the native is Morus rubra. So these are more native to like Louisiana, where these trees are from, but still a really, really great producing tree for here. You can see some of these red and black mulberries on here. Really fast growing tree, gets quite large. You're going to be seeing it 30 to 40 feet tall, but really great for deer. If you got deer on your property, really great. If you don't want deer on your property, maybe don't plant a mulberry. But
if you have a small backyard like me, don't plant one of these, because like you said, 30 feet tall, and your neighbors aren't going to like you very much. So make sure you have the space, and like they grow really quickly. But all these have a bunch of berries on them, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And then over here we have the white Persian mulberry as well. So this is going to have a white berry on there, and very, very sweet, very tasty. Again, so fast growing. Your neighbors may not like the height of your tree, but maybe you could bring them some mulberries and make them happy.
Peace offering.
Yeah.
So Clay, you have a lot of people asking about citrus trees, right?
Oh yeah, every day. There's only a few of them now that really are, super cold hardy. Really the only two that I feel be like, yeah, they're pretty dang cold hardy. I'd say, kumquats and then satsumas are the second best at being cold hardy in the.
Like I have an Arctic frost satsuma, and that can take temperatures down to around 10 degrees. I left it outside during our last snowstorm we had, and we actually had a snowstorm here in Houston, which is every 4 years we get snow here. But I left it outside, just put some mulch over it, and covered it with a frost blanket. So it's important to use a frost blanket, right, and not just plastic.
Correct. Yeah, frost blankets actually kind of insulate the plant. You can bring them down and make them, tight with the ground, and that acts like almost like a little, miniature greenhouse. It's going to have the radiating heat from the ground, kind of providing extra support for that tree. And then also, contrary to plastic, when it freezes on there, the frost cloth will really protect it versus when you put plastic over it, it can actually
makes the tree colder,
freeze through there and really permeates that cold air in.
Yeah, so if you have to leave a tree outside, use a frost blanket and put some mulch around the graft, but it's best to have it in a container so you can take it inside into a garage or somewhere a little warmer. So first line of defense is put your citrus trees in containers so you can take them inside. But if you really want to keep your citrus trees outside, look into Arctic frost. And you said another variety.
Yeah, and then Hamlin orange is pretty cold hardy. I think that's like 18 to 20. But the satsumas, most of those are pretty cold hardy down to like in the 20s. The next thing is mulching. It makes such a big difference too. I mean, I just want to touch on that, especially we have these bush form Meyer lemons and key limes, and when the citrus is bush form, it's not grafted like these trees are, and it actually, if you mulch that, it will come back as a true Meyer lemon again. You won't have that that rootstock, which is the trifoliate, come up instead of your
it's going to be a
citrus.
sour orange, and desirable part of the tree is going to die, and all that's going to be left is the rootstock, which is going to be like a sour orange. That's not what you want. So at that point, you have to start over.
Right. So yeah, mulching the heck out of them is really the way to go.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a cold, hardy citrus, look into that Arctic Frost Satsuma. All right, Clay, so I just want to thank you again for having me out here, showing me all the fruit trees that you guys carry at Enchanted Forest. You know, you guys have a ton of stuff here. I find something new each time.
Oh yeah. We carry fruit trees, herbs, veggies, annuals, trees for the landscape, shrubs. If it grows here in Texas, we have it.
So if you're in the Houston area, come check them out. But again, if you found any information in this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for more gardening videos. Till next time, I'll catch you on the flip side of the garden.